Hi, YouTube family. Auntie is here. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. I love to say it's not cute, not knowing. We start off with a hug. I go by the nickname Ginger, and it's so glad that you're here because Auntie's got a lot of stuff to talk about. Cardi B, who is 8 months pregnant with baby number 2. Oh boy, she's ready to have that baby. And she's ready to have more plastic surgery. Now, I had no idea that she had the extensive amount of plastic surgery that she's had. 3 breast augmentations, 4 things done to her butt, her nose done, cheek implants. She got new teeth, lipo, sculpting for the abs, a tummy tuck, facial rejuvenation. They're saying after Cardi has the baby, she plans to get another tummy tuck and get her booty, her butt, adjusted, which I think kind of went out on place on one of these shows she was performing. How old is she? She's young. What do you do when you get 60 if you've already had all of these surgeries? What do you do when you get older? How do you age? How do you even look when you age? When things seem to, because you change. Aging is going to happen, and we can fight it and hold on to it as long as we can, but it does happen. But I had no idea that she had all of those surgeries. Don Cheadle is explaining his appearance on Kevin Hart's talk show on the Peacock Network. Don says it was all in good fun. You know, I was kind of wondering if it was a publicity stunt or he wants people to stop criticizing Kevin because he said Kevin wasn't being rude. This was the scenario. Don Cheadle talking about his life, and he was like, I'm 56. And Kevin was like, damn. And Don Cheadle looked at him like he wanted to punch him in the face. But he says it was all in good fun. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart will be teaming up with Mark Wahlberg for a new Netflix movie entitled Me Time. It's about best friends who reunite after not seeing each other for many years for a very wild and unforgettable weekend. Rapper Eminem is now going to be acting. 50 Cent is going to have a new show on Starz called Black Mafia Family. One of the episodes is going to center around, and it's a true story of White Boy Rick. What was White Boy Rick? He was out here selling drugs when he was 14 years old and running his whole operation till he got tricked up by the feds and he wound up becoming an FBI informant. He's 52 years old now. He was sentenced to life. He got released last June of 2020. Now, how is Eminem going to look like a teenager? 50 Cent, who directed this episode, is using that de-aging, the special effects, where they can take your look and make you look like you're a teenager again. Or younger. They did it with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was in a movie, The Irishman. They did it with Robert De Niro and a couple of the other characters to get them to look younger. R. Kelly wants to know where are all his friends. The trial starts August 18th. Where are his friends? We're talking celebrity friends, not them people that be going around the court. Count Jay-Z out because him and Jay-Z had a falling out. Falling out way before all this went down on the tour, and the tour abruptly ended. Don't look for Jigga. But where are his celebrity friends? A lot of people don't want to be kind of associated with none of that. There's a show on BET Plus that I want you guys to check out. It's called The Miss Pat Show. Who's Miss Pat? Comedian Pat Williams. Imagine if Roseanne were black. You kind of get the premise. It's a funny show. Tammy Roman is in it. And guess who's the executive producer? Lee Daniels. He is the executive producer of the show. And it's funny. It's different. They shopped it around. The major networks were afraid because it does have some profanity. But it's funny. It's very real and it's very raw. I'm going to have a chance to interview her next week. And she's coming to Philadelphia in October. So that's kind of like on my little bucket list of who I want to meet. But Miss Pat. The Miss Pat Show. It's streaming now on BET Plus. Glenn Turman. Did you guys know that he was an acclaimed cowboy rodeo champion? See, we know the acting. Preach. Coolie High. JD's Revenge, which was such an awful movie that it was good. A Different World. He was just in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Acclaimed actor. He was married to Aretha Franklin. He's 74 years old. He is starring in Beyonce's new Ivy Park Rodeo campaign along with his granddaughter. I've been putting it off, and now we're going to talk about Aretha. It took in $8.8 million at the box office, but the movie cost $55 million to make. The movie Respect with Jennifer Hudson. They took a major loss. The audience that's going to see this movie, they're not going to the movies right now. They're not. I think they should have released this before National Geo's. I think they should have teamed up with a streaming network and gotten more of an audience, or the audience that they're looking for. They insisted on showing it in theaters, and I think it hurt them. This show will live on either some streaming channel or BET, because I do think that people should see it. Jennifer Hudson does her own singing. Incredible. Mary J. Blige with her scene-stealing scenes. Marlon Wayans in a way that you've never seen him. Respect is the version that Aretha wants people to see of her life. National Geo told a little different story, and they showed the pettiness. As far as her not really caring for other women, and of course the marriages, the way that National Geo portrayed her dad, the Reverend C.L. Franklin, was way different from Respect. In Respect, you just saw Forrest Whitaker drinking. You know what, a drink or two. National Geo, Daddy was a trip. He was a whole trip around the world. When they implied that, was there something going on between her and Martin Luther King? I said, child, when I was sitting there watching it, I was like, oh, my mother is saying, cut it off, cut that off, cut that off. Because my mom was from the school of, you ain't saying nothing bad about Dr. King. It was different, but National Geo was riveting. Like, even if you said to yourself, I don't want to watch that version, I couldn't pull myself away. I felt like I lost half a week of my life because I was like, I gotta watch this. I enjoyed Respect, but it was so different from the National Geographic. I loved Jennifer Hudson. I wasn't crazy about Cynthia Erivo because she didn't look like her, and I think they had, they did all this padding. I don't know. I just didn't buy Cynthia Erivo as Aretha. And she got a great voice and she could sing and all that. But it was just two very different things. I think with Respect, y'all should have released this last year on the streaming service when more people were in the house to sit there and watch it. Because it's got an audience and it's going to find an audience. Will it ever make back the $55 million? Because then they spent a ton just to promote it. Will they make that money back? I don't think so, unless you sign some kind of deal or something like that. But they took a major loss. I didn't want to talk to it until I figured that the majority of you had already seen it. Because, I didn't want to talk about it last year. And everybody's trying to interpret, well, what she means, she don't want to talk about it now. That's what I meant. Rapper Silento. Back in 2015, he had the hottest record out. Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nae Nae. He's 23 years old. He has been indicted for murdering his 35-year-old cousin. He had a wild last year. The police chases, taking them on speed chases. He was trying to cut people with a hatchet. Obviously, something had to be either mentally wrong or somebody gave him some bad drugs. I don't know what happened to this kid. I met him twice. One was an event I took my kids to. I said, we're going to see the guy Silento. Then one event I was hosting, and he was there, and he seemed so nice. I don't know what happened. He is being indicted for murder. Not a good story. Not a good story. So they're saying that LeVar Burton, his ratings lagged behind the others, and that was one of the reasons why he didn't get Jeopardy. Stop it. Stop with this foolishness, because something better is going to come along for LeVar Burton. Y'all knew all along that y'all was going to have the executive producer, and y'all was playing with people, for the hype about the show. Something's good. Something better. Sometimes when a no is placed in front of you, God knows why, and something better is coming around the corner. Damon Wayans says he wants to do a comedy versus against Dave Chappelle. Are they doing comedy versus? I think this is a terrible idea. Years ago, Damon, he bombed so bad hosting the BET Awards. Now, I know, BET Awards is real black, so you got to bring some black humor. Dave Chappelle is a different kind of comedian. It burns me up when people try to compare him to Kevin Hart. Two different types of comedian. Dave don't give a... He's up there smoking. He tells you, you offended? You hit my face. You decided to click on. He ain't trying to be politically correct. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think Dave Chappelle would ever do it. And he probably got a chuckle out of it. Damon is probably looking for like a little come up, but I think it would be disastrous. Actress Nichelle Nichols. I want to take you guys back to the original Star Trek. She played Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek, to see this beautiful black woman on this ensemble show. I remember I was a kid when Captain Kirk kissed her and people lost their minds. What is he doing? Nichelle Nichols, 88 years old, is not doing well. She's really not in the right frame of mind. There's a battle going on between her son, her former manager, and a friend who says, I have her best interest. The former manager actually tried to marry Miss Nichols. Tried to marry her. She wasn't in the right frame of mind. We should get married. And he actually tried to go along with the ceremony, because then if he married her, he'd be the husband and control the money. The son stepped in. Stay away from my mom. I got this. They say at these Star Trek conventions, and there are a lot of them because there's a lot of Trekkies out there, he just rolls his mother out for all the autographs and to get the money. That she can't read the teleprompter, she don't be knowing what's going on, and she just sits there and smiles. The son just parading her to get the money. There's a friend who has been a longtime friend, and she says that Miss Nichols should have the life that she deserves. It's a Star Trek final farewell tour, and they just be having her out there. But the friend said she should be in charge because she really cares for this woman. What in the heck is going on? It really makes you wonder, and you really, really have to be careful. Please keep that TV legend in your prayers, because I'm telling you, when you hear all this stuff with Britney Spears and the whole conservatorship, there's a reason why people are put in charge, but you got to be careful, because there are people who will take advantage of you. If you're not in the right mental state, the right frame of mind, they will take advantage of you. They will. Unfortunately, everybody, even family members, don't have the best interests at heart, because all they see is what? The money. That's all they see is the money. Thanks for joining me today. We did have a lot to go over. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when the video comes up. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and leave a comment. Auntie reads the comments. I appreciate all of you guys for the discussion about singer Lizzo and what she is going through, being abused and being fat, and the whole conversation was really good from all corners. Have a great one. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture.